Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think courage is always, to me, courage to have conversations is always up top of mind. There's always something, I'm always doing something that I can point out. It's taking, and I think about taking extra effort. When I think of, courage, I think of where am I really giving more effort and energy because I feel like, oh, it's easier to just not do it, or give in to something. But when I think about the courage piece, it's like, yeah, where am I giving more effort, or where am I seeing that I am needing more effort? That's where I'm bringing courage with me.
Yeah, I love that idea of courage being an additional effort, which takes us out of our comfort zone, right? Because when we don't exert that effort to step out or to do something that maybe is, I don't know if I want to say difficult, but is something that's a challenge. And sometimes that's a conversation. Sometimes that's, an action, taking an action towards a goal, a dream. Getting on a podcast that you'd like to support somebody on, whatever it is, it takes that little extra oomph to do it. Yeah.
I'm realizing just how, and over the past couple of months, I've been paying attention to this, but it's like, which is great. And I recognize that it's different for everyone, but what I recognize is that, very, very often there is things on my calendar that when the day comes or the day before it, I'm like, oh, and I have that feeling of like challenged for my fear and my frenemy to say, oh yeah, whatever it wants to say about it, that's more negative or challenging for me to think about giving that extra effort in order to be focused on, why did I say yes to this in the first place? What is the intention behind it? What is the result I'm looking for, or all of that, and just great reminders of checking in with ourselves to, do things with purpose. There's a reason we're saying yes to things. And I've just been recognizing how much I do things out of my comfort zone all the time.
Yeah.
I'm having conversations all the time that feel challenging in the moments, before they're about to happen, and the anticipation of this thing. And that's when, I challenge my fangirl inside to come out and say, okay, this is why I'm doing it. This is the purpose of it. And, it's for good. That's why it gets put on my calendar. That's why it's planned for, is because it's all for good, for me, for whoever I'm talking to, for wherever I'm at. That's just been really on my mind in the last couple of months, that I'm getting into these situations and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to lead that, or I'm about to speak to this new group, or XYZ, start this podcast, all these things. And they're very much out of my comfort zone. Everyone thinks that it's just so natural, but it is out of my comfort zone. And it's a challenge. So bringing that effort and courage.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a perfect example of the tool we call the 4 A's, which I don't know if I've shared that with you before or not, but that's where you acknowledge your feeling, right? So the feeling of, why is that there? Acknowledge that feeling, allow that feeling to go through you, and then ask yourself, well, what am I committed to? And then act on the commitment. So it's acknowledge, allow, ask, and act. And I think that's just exactly what you described. That's what came up for me, because I think I know that tool really helps me a lot to have the courage to act upon those things that I made a commitment to, and still allow,
it's empowering
feeling, allow that feeling of acknowledge that. Well, why is that there? Oh no, here it is, and acknowledge that. Allow yourself to feel that anticipation, that fear, whatever it is, and then ask yourself, well, what am I committed to? And then that's what you act on. So yeah, I love that. Well, it is 11 past the hour. So